Buenos tardes, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye-up. Bye-up. And as you can tell by that thumbnail right there, yes, I felt that for no other reason, I should put this story out there because it was told to me today by a very righteous individual. I said, you know what, Sasuke? The wind's blowing and the menudo style in direct fashion. We're going to get straight into that. And it's a story I thought I would tell the collective personally. You know what I mean? It's something I had to bring to the table and something I had to put out there because it's a trippy story. It's a story about betrayal on the North and the South. So I was scared. Everybody got played in this one. This is a real story. This is coming from an individual who I have the utmost respect for. A vato from the Sur, a vato from down south in Southern California, a Mexicano that has represented the Sur for several decades and is really about that life, man. He has really fought several cases, have been caught up in so much of the politics and you know, the detrimental adversity that goes into becoming a prison gang member. I mean, this vato definitely, man, is about his shit and has a long history. I'm not going to utilize his name. He asked me not to put it out there, so I was scared. I'm going to respect his wishes based on the vato is on a whole lifetime long of parole. And you know, you gotta respect a man's wishes. At the same time, I will tell you this, man. Anything that this individual tells me, I take it as pura, not a grain of salt, man. He doesn't add preservatives. He's as real as they come, Sasuke. It's not a laughing matter. This is a true fact. But we got to sitting back and chopping it up, man, like we do on the daily. And he told me, hey, trip out on this story, bro. He was like, this is something that you can utilize, that you can put out there for the gente so they could see the real true elements of betrayal. What really happens in prison, how people are able to wiggle, how people are able to manipulate the masses, the gente on both sides, not only the Norte, but the Sur. Vatos are able to wiggle. You know, in some cases, you never know who your celly is or who you're around. You think it's all fine and dandy. This is my camarada, this is my boy, this is my carnal. And at the end of the day, he could be the same one putting the pico de gallo right in your culo, man. And it could be an ugly situation. So anyways, the story went like this, that he told me, and I told him I was going to express it. He gave me his blessing, Sasuke, and we go. Bang, bang. So the year's about 1988, 89, and a vato from the city of San Jose finds himself incarcerated. The vato's name was Snoopy from San Jose. Now, the vato I talked to doesn't know the particular water this was from, just knew that he was from up north in Northern California, and his name was Snoopy from San Jose. Now, he didn't know the whole backstory to this individual until later on, but I'm going to tell it from the front to the back, and then we're going to strike it, flip it, and reverse it. But anyways, the vato gets caught up, okay? And this vato ends up, you know, of course, getting incarcerated. The year's about 1989. And he's putting in his work, man, just like any other norteño that would get locked up, considered a norteño because they're from Northern California, the city of San Jose, man. It's the majority norteños at that time. You know, we're talking about the late 80s. You know, it's really going down, man. The soldados are being established. And there's a group that was formed, man, that is starting to recruit and pull people from the manpower, people that are of elite status, people that are really about the cause. And these people that are known as La Nuestra Raza, right? The NR, or the given name by administration, the Northern Structure. So this vato gets pulled into the Northern Structure, the Nuestra Raza, right? He's a very well-known character, man. He's out there doing his thing. And somewhere along the line, someone gets locked up in San Quentin and his filth catches up to him. They have some type of paperwork on him where he was telling on somebody or something of that nature, man. The vato who told me the story wasn't quite sure on that, but he knew it to be facts that this vato had got caught up. I guess he goes to the yard out in San Quentin where he gets whacked, right? But when they whacked him, now remember, this vato's no slouch. This vato's a straight savage. He's about his business. So of course he tries to fight off his attackers. And when they whack him, they were trying to put the puto mark across his face. He actually moves and he gets a big chunk, a nick cut out from here to here, from ear to queer, right? And he kind of bounces out of the way. Anyways, of course, everybody gets caught up in this situation. He is no longer in good standings. Now, with this, at this time, communication wasn't like it is today. So it wasn't like you could get on the phone and like, okay, watch out. Hey, yeah, we had to cut him. Just a little bit. Yeah. No, we just took a chunk out of him. Yeah, we're going to call him Chunky now. Hey, okay, this is who he is. He could be landing here. He could be landing there. Make sure you put the word out to the camarada. Simon. All right, and that's it. It's not as easy. You know, there was a lot of filtering going out. A lot of names get lost in the mix, man. A lot of people don't write names right on the BNLs. everything was handwritten back in them days, man. Everything was accounted for by the next man's hand. So somewhere along the line, this vato goes to the oil and they lose him in the mumbo jumbo, right? Well, he ends up in the oil. He ends up in the oil and he ends up right alongside a well-known carnal at that time, Toto from Santa Paula. For those of you that don't know, from down south, okay? And he gets to conversating with this individual. And this guy, let me tell you one thing about the carnales from down south, man. I'm talking about the emeros. They don't care where you're from. You got to understand that in them times, there were a lot of emeros from up north, down south, everywhere. So they don't look at you from where you're from. They look at you, they base you and judge you on the character of the content of the man that you are. You know, if you're with the business, if you're down, if they take a liking to you, so let's get bygones can be bygones and embracement can be real. And at this time, this vato lands next to this high-ranking member and is able to facilitate conversation. He's able to, Sasuke, throw his name out there and kind of chop it up. And this vato, this emero, takes a liking to him. Okay? He takes a liking to him, and so he's telling his story, and he's like, yeah, man, my own people did me dirty, man. They made up some fake paperwork. They put me in the wash. Sasuke, I came out on the bad side of the stick. This is how it goes down. And the vato is able to manipulate, okay, to get into this vato's mindset, with promises of, hey, I'll handle business for you out there. I'll do things on the yarda. I'll facilitate moves that you can't make. And of course, this vato slammed back. So anytime he could utilize someone or get something going in his direction, something good in his favor, he's going to utilize that. That's just how gente are when they're incarcerated, man. You're going to use everything possible to get, to get something back. So I need a sopa. Hey, but I'm a tito down here. It's so, shoot it, right? Okay, just make sure you don't touch it too much. You know what I mean? And this is how it goes down. So anyways, he's able to, I won't say unnecessary to manipulate the emero, but he's able to get in his good graces, to which the emero tells him, hey, I'm going to shoot out, okay, a huila, a filter. You're going to be all right. Just rock with us. Fuck with us now. We got you, right? Little did he know, and the vato admitted this, he forgot to tell him that he was also part of a prison gang, Nuestra Raza. He just told him he was a regular norteño that got done bad, right? Now, if the emero would have knew he was part of the Nuestra Raza, of course, he would have been a target, a highly sought-after target. He would have got hit. But he fucking forgot to say that part. So, yeah, I'm this and I'm that and I'm not that. And anyways, he's able to do this and go out into the yarda. So he goes out on the yard, right? And, of course, he's embraced. This filter has went out. This vato's able. And it wasn't like this guy was a punk, man. He put in a lot of work for the Sud. A lot of well-known melees and things that happened he was involved in, or he kicked them off, man. It is known, man, there was a big riot between the Bulldogs and the Southsiders sometime in the mid-90s, and this vato actually kicked it off over a $5 bet. He wasn't supposed to be fucking with them, but he did. Again, man, he put in a lot of work. He was in Pelican Bay, and he was putting in work on the Sangres. He was stabbing bloods left and right when it was going down, when the war was the Sud and the blood. This vato was just putting in his work, handling his business like he was supposed to. Now, a lot of the younger camaradas or Southsiders that were coming into the mix thought that this guy was with the business. They didn't even question him because he was a little bit of an older vato, had been around the block, had been known to put in work, to use a pedazo quick, man. The man was quick to pick up steel and use it. And Sasuke, you don't question these type of individuals. He's already been there and done that. And Sasuke, you just get in and get out, the best way you can. So anyways, what happens, how he ends up coming into contact with the vato who I chop it up with, was this vato was actually in a different place, man, and he was on his way to Pelican Bay, to the main line. And these vatos somehow ended up on the same bus. And so this vato's talking my homeboy's ear off, telling them old war stories, and they take a liking to each other. He was a very likable person, told a good war story, so it seemed like an all right vato and had a good name in CDC. So he tells the homeboy, now he knows at this time, the vato who was Northern Structure knows that this Southside or Sureño that is going to Pelican Bay is someone of high ranking. He's not necessarily a carnal, but he is a camarada striving, and he definitely is in high status. He has some status. So he knows that more than likely, man, facilitating this friendship is going to be beneficial to him, because every time he went to a new place, you have to be cleared. It doesn't matter what side you're on, a norteño or sureño, you must be cleared. People are going to ask questions. Your filth can be found out. The cream rises to the top and then gets blown off. You already know how it happens. And now, with these phones coming into play, and with a lot more fucking aggressive individuals, these youngsters are different. Things can get found out quite frequently, and they do. And next thing you know, you got a pedazo from here to ear, and that's it. So anyways, the other vato that I talked to, you know, the good homeboy, chops it up with him, takes a liking to him. So when they get to Pelican Bay, this vato actually, the one that likes to talk a lot, actually says, hey, tells the captain or whatever, hey, can you get me sold up with the homeboy, whoop-de-whoop. So they ask the homeboy, hey, are you good with that? They already know he has a little bit of status. So he's like, Simon, yeah, I'm good with it. So bam, they sell him up together. Now these vatos were on the yarda, and of course, my boy, man, the one I chop it up with, he quickly takes the llaves to the yard and starts to change things around. He's changing it to the mesa process that was going on at that time and starts to facilitate the right moves that he has to do. And this other vato knew that. He knew that this is what was going to take place. So he says, I got the good celly, the right celly that got pulled with the juras. He's also well known and he's a dangerous individual. That's what, you know, there's a lot of people that respect him. He gets a lot of respect. So this vato starts to utilize that other vato, the homeboy that I talked to, is fucking respecting his name for his own benefit, his own financial gain and everything. He's out there trying to punk Southsiders and Sureños and talk bad to him. Now, Southside, I'm not going to sit here and disrespect the gente and said they were going to take it like that. Charlie, man, a lot of them were voicing their opinion and they were like, fuck this dude, right? You're only getting high power and acting all crazy, Southside, because of who your celly is, not because of the work you put in. Now, mind you, this vato was with the business. He had put in a lot of work, so his name had a little bit of credibility behind it. His past didn't, but no one knew his past at this time, right? So Sasuke, what happens is he starts to become a liability and do a little too much on this yarda to the point where my boy, man, has to check him in front of a group of Sureños and tell him, hey, Holmes, are you a carnal? The vato's like, no, Sasuke. And he goes, no, fuck all that. Are you a carnal? Well, Charlie, he goes, well, trip out, Holmes. Then you're a nobody. He goes, because I'm a nobody. I ain't either. But at the same time, Holmes, you need to stop treating people out of character and utilizing my name for your own benefits. You're on your own, eh? You know what I mean? In a southern fashion. And the vato's like, Spencer on la tira. Now, you got to understand, there was a lot of little Southsiders at this time, man, that didn't like the vato in particular because he was from the city of San Jose. Now, don't get it twisted. I met some down-ass, righteous-ass Southsiders and Sureños from San Jose. Very well established. But at the same time, you know, there's always going to be that some type of animosity there. Like, is he or was he or could he ever been, you know, loyal to the Norte cause or motherfucking anything? You know, they're trip. People trip. It's the same thing like when I met a Fresno on Norteño. You know what I mean? A vato from Fresno. I always fucking questioned him in the highest degree, man. There was always that little, the wind is blowing just to make sure. Anyways, so they never really liked this vato. And the way he was acting out of character and utilizing his celly's name, they really didn't like him. So what happens is, of course, man, him and his celly, my boy, man, they get to chopping up. It's all good. And he actually slips one time, man. He's telling the story and he mentions that his name was Snoopy from Sanjo. And the homie goes, Snoopy from Sanjo, right? And then he goes, oh, no, because he had been under a different name at this time. He had changed his whole placazo and everything. How he was able to wiggle under the radar of even the placas amazes me. But he was able to be out there in the yarda classified as a Southern Mexican, right? Knowing he's from up north, knowing that he was once a made member of La Nuestra Raza, right? He was a structure member. So he's out there wiggling. Anyways, one day he has to go to board. He's going to go before board for some type of committee, man. He has some type of something going on. So his celly is expecting, hey, it's just another walk in the park. It's just another day. You know what I mean? His celly's going to committee. It is what it is. Hurry up, get back. So we can have the thought path, right? And he goes to committee and he doesn't come back. And of course, his celly at the time, the homeboy that told me the story, you know, he's tripping. He's like, fuck, what happened? Did this vato roll it up? I know this vato didn't have roll up in him. He wasn't a fruit roll up. So he didn't get down like that. He was actually well known for having hands, well known for using fucking steel, well known for going out there and doing what he had to do. So this got him questioning himself, like, what did he do wrong, or what did anybody else do wrong, or what happened out there that he didn't see? You know what I mean? Because people don't just roll it up like that all the time, especially not back in the mid 90s. It started becoming rampant in the 2000s. Vatos will roll it up just because fucking it's raining outside. You know what I mean? Vatos will roll it up because their old lady said, hey, this is my cousin Juan. You don't have a cousin Juan. I did. I had one last night and one today. Bam. Anyway, so, and then the vato rolls it up like, fuck that, man. She had one last night, one today. You know what I mean? So I want to be the next one. Orale, one. Anyways, so this vato doesn't come back from committee, from board. And a placa comes to the door. You know, the homeboy gets at him like, hey. And when I say homeboy, I mean my friend, my homeboy. You know what I mean? But he was a Sureño at this time, camarada, in righteous standings. He was the llavero. He had the yard. So, of course, the K9 comes to his door and tells him, hey, you know what I mean, roll your celly shit up. He ain't going to be coming back. And he says, well, what happened? You know, what happened with my celly? And of course, the canine is like, they're not supposed to facilitate no information to you. They're not supposed to tell you shit. But you know, when you're when you have certain status, man, you have certain juice on these yards, cops become familiar, they get a little bit over familiar, man, they're gonna tell you what's going on. So it was like, yeah, you know, something came up. A chronal that got mishandled for several years came up, and he had never signed off on it. So we don't know how he was able to skate by for so long. So my homeboy's already like, fuck, Holmes, I had action at killing me a rata, right, or something of that nature. And he goes, well, was he a snitch? Or, you know, let me know. Just let me know. You know what I mean? It's already too late. I'm not going to see him no more. And he says, nah, man, your celly was actually a member of the Northern structure. And he says, what? He says, yeah, what happened was when they whacked him back in the days. And that's when he starts to tell him the story, because this Vato had just gave up the story to the committee, you know, to the board. And he told him the story, you know, how he fucking was able to meet up with the Emero. The Emero cleared him. But the Emero was unaware that he was a Northern structure member, just thought he was clearing a Norteño that got done bad. And it was all good. And so my homeboy was like, fuck. He felt twisted, because he was like, damn, I feel betrayed. I used to eat sopitas with this dude, kick it with this guy. He could have told me. I'd have killed him, but he could have told me, you know what I mean? So that was the betrayal on the behalf of him to the Southsiders. And of course, the betrayal was there from the gate with the Norteños, as far as telling on his crime partners or whoever he told on, and then going in there and then flipping as becoming a pooled made member of the Nuestra Raza. He flipped on his own people and went against the grain. That's happened. In the history, it has happened, man. You had vatos like Ashali Lizard Hernandez, who was a make carnal from the Nuestra Familia, who did actually flip and betray both sides as well. He was a Southern Mexican at one point, did flip on his own gente, become a Norteño, strived all the way to becoming a carnal, and then we already know how that turned out. He was very instrumental in the catalyst in the Black Widow operation that brought several of the canales de Mesa down, several of the generals of high standings, you know, the OGB. It'd be like that sometimes, man. You got individuals that you think are righteous camaradas or righteous homeboys, and at the end of the day, man, their filth will be discovered at the end. So the homeboy told me the story today, and I thought, fuck, I'm going to put this out there, Sasuke, because it's a trip how two sides can get betrayed by one individual. And it's like that. You know, with everything that's going on nowadays, they got so much to worry about. Prison politics is so much in flux right now. The flux capacitor is broken. Great Scots, Marty. It's all fucked up. But at the same time, man, it makes you wonder, you know, where your celly's been, who he really is. The whole time this Vato thought he was breaking bread with a righteous camarada who had put in work. Like I said, man, he caught not necessarily bodies, but he caught cases and he was using metal on metal, and he was doing his thing, you know, for the Sul. But at the same time, he was a Nuestra Raza member in bad standings doing it. One never knows, does one? In any case, man, I just wanted to put that story out there to let everyone know, man, you never know who you're fucking with, Sasuke. Even in my fucking life, I chop it up with people and they seem all like, they smile in my face, and then I extend my hand to help them out and they spit in it, you know? Even in YouTube, man, many a time vatos will smile in your face and cry later, orale, you know what I mean, Sasuke? As long as they're crying, puto, in that fashion. Anyways, with that being said, man, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. This is a little late one because I felt I should bring you a little something just based on this Friday the 13th. You know what I mean? Bang, bang. You already know what it is. Jason Gang. Please like and subscribe if you like these stories. If not, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in. Man, pay attention to Gunner's Profiles. If you have not heard of Gunner's Profiles, go fuck with it. That's my other channel, man. I'm boom bangling, getting it up to par. Several good stories. I drop bangers every day there as well. I appreciate all the hate that have been striving with me. Remember, man, the whole catalyst to this situation is to get and unite the raza. Not necessary to come together for power, but to come together, man, to chop it up, fraternize, and know that we are all brown, man, at the end of the day, and nobody is too much different than the next man. So that's again, unless you have pink hair and you go, then you're very different. With that being said, orale, gracias, gente. You already know what it is. Gunners Collective. Bang, bang. True stories.